Welcome to your course tour of Krugman, Economics for the AP Course 3rd Edition. Thank you for selecting this book to use in your classroom. Economics was created from the ground up for the AP Economics course by authors who know this course. Our hope is to partner with you to provide the tools to boost students' economic skills and hopefully increase AP test scores. The goal of today's session is to prepare you for using your new Krugman Economics textbook. We will do an in-depth review of the textbook and its resources and make sure you have all the full understanding of the program. Before we get started, let's review the materials you have received with your order. If you have ordered at least a class set, you should have received a teacher's edition, an ExamView test bank, and the teacher's resource flash drive. It is possible that you received a URL and password to download the flash drive digitally versus receiving an actual flash drive. Please note that some components such as ebooks, Launchpad Sapling, or Strive for 5 guides are not automatically added to your adoption. These components require additional purchases. If there is anything you have not received, please contact your local sales representative. We also offer to every teacher access to our Classroom Compass site. This site provides an opportunity for additional training and information. At BFW, we love to hear about all the different ways our textbook is used in the classrooms. Please log into our site at classroomcompass.bfwpub.com and join our discussion boards to share ideas and strategies with your colleagues and also textbook authors. Please note the advice in this video series serves only as a starting point. As you become more familiar with the textbook, the suggestions made may or may not apply to your classroom needs. Before you begin teaching the AP course, review AP Central on the College Board website. From there, you'll be able to navigate to the AP Macro and/or Microeconomics homepage. Here you will find information on the new course changes and other information provided by the College Board. Also, take a look at the Teacher's Guide written by Margaret Ray. Margaret helped to write the teacher edition for Krugman Economics for the AP course. The Teacher's Guide is designed to help teachers new to the course and will include several sample syllabi and advice for the AP audit. We're going to do a walkthrough of Section 3 of the text, Measurement of Economic Performance. If you're following along, please turn to page 103. These are the purple pages of the text. If you don't have your textbook, we will be showing the relevant pages on the screen. One of the things I'd like to mention right away is the textbook is organized by modules and not chapters. Modules are smaller chapters that are designed to be taught in 1 to 2 class periods, and this can help you organize and plan your course. The textbook's divided into sections that correspond to the AP topic outline, with each section divided into 4 to 7 modules. Material is chunked to make it more flexible for you and to allow for appropriate pacing while being less intimidating for your students. The opening story of the section extends through the modules and is, of course, designed to pique your students' interest. Each module is designed to take 1 class period to teach. The modular organization also adds more opportunities for AP-style questions and exercises, which we'll touch on later. Section 3, Module 10 starts with a student-ready example of measuring economic performance with an article about China passing Japan as the second largest economy. It's easy to read and puts the topic on a world stage. With each modular opener, you'll see an open and close activity in the ATE margin that is found in the teacher resource material. We'll take a look at this activity in a few minutes. Module 10 clearly explains the circular flow diagram to your students. Beyond the narrative of the text, we provide your students with images, a marginal glossary, and AP exam tips. It's important for your students to understand graphs and diagrams for the AP exam. Tell them to keep track of which diagrams are called out in the AP exam tips. Encourage your students to track words and terms they do not understand in a separate place to study before the exam. Also encourage them to take note of the AP exam tips that would help in their studying, like the above mnemonic device for remembering the factors that shift commands. At the end of every module, you'll find a variety of questions titled Check Your Understanding and Tackle the Test. AP-style multiple choice and free response test questions. It's very important to do frequent assessments to gauge your students' progress throughout the year. And it's very critical to do frequent assessment versus periodic tests because it's a more valid way to gauge progress over time. At the end of each section, your students will be given an extensive review. First, we provide you with a student-facing review video, extremely helpful for students throughout the year, and when it comes time to study for the AP exam, provides just-in-time instruction through visuals, down-to-earth language, and humor. The videos are helpful for audio-visual learners and students that miss class for an extended period of time. The review videos are useful for students who are struggling with a topic or missing class for sports or vacation. Next, we provide module by module review points and key terms. There are multiple ways to handle the vocabulary list, drills, word wall in your classroom, or even as a bell ringer or exit slip. For an assessment piece, we provide AP exam practice questions, both multiple choice and free response questions. Please use your practice problems as much as possible. And the more and more you can use the model style questions with your students, the better the students are going to understand it along with the methodology. Skipping ahead to the end of the book, you'll find an AP style practice exam, which includes multiple choice questions. At the end of the text, you'll find enrichment modules and a financial literacy handbook for instruction after the AP exam. These exam modules will prepare students for further economic study in college and beyond. The Financial Literacy Handbook, authored by Laura Adams, follows the enrichment models on indifference curves. It's 38 pages divided among 8 parts. Each part ends with review questions and a project seen. A word about Laura Adams. She's the author of several ebooks and audiobooks and hosts the Money Girl podcast on a top 10 internet show on iTunes that has been downloaded more than 45 million times. All right, let's recap what we've learned so far. Here's a quick checklist of what your students should know about their new textbook. Before we get started, I want to show you the main components of your teacher resource materials. Your teacher edition is filled with activities, tips, videos, and additional resources available in your teacher's resource materials. You can download these from your teacher resource flash drive or online. You'll also receive an exam bank CD to create additional tests and questions. So let's start with the planning pages that begin each section. The planning pages provide you with a professional development video available in your teacher's resource materials, and it gets you started on teaching the section. There's also an AP alignment and pacing guide. Most importantly are the lists of additional resources. There are tons of extra worksheets, activities, and exit slips to use in your classroom. These are also called out at point of use in the teacher's edition. Please note that when you see the TRM icon, this is assigned to check the teacher's resource flash drive. Let's take a look at some of the teaching ideas in your teaching edition for Module 10. We have tons of marginal annotations in the teacher's edition. The building skills: graph it, model it, and explain it. These are the most important skills that students must master for success, is the ability to draw and interpret economic models. These quick activities will give your students straightforward tools to teach effective graphing and modeling skills as they work through the content. To help each student explain complex ideas, the Explain It features are placed at critical points and provide an opportunity to stop and check for understanding. Usually, these are framed as very quick questions. The Teacher's Edition also has the answers to all the student-facing questions in the book, making sure this is your one-stop resource when grading in-text assignments. There's a lot to balance when teaching AP Economics. It's really important to keep a schedule and try to stick to it. We know with the assemblies and bad weather, there's a lot to derail the course, but try to stick to your schedule. Keep an eye on the coverage percentages and the correlation in the front of the book and make sure you're staying proportionate to that. Build 2 or 3 weeks into your class syllabus for review. Require textbook reading. You're not going to be able to cover everything in the class, so make sure your students understand the importance of textbook reading in an AP course. Adopt the AP question format. Make sure your students are used to the short answer questions and multiple choice formats. Use them on your tests and quizzes. Test your students cumulatively. You do not want them to forget what they learned in October when it's time for the AP exam in May. And lastly, your time after the AP exam can be spent on broad academic goals of the course. You may also consider a research project or dig into topics that are of interest to you and to your students. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us on Krugman's Economics for AP course. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us. If you have any questions about your textbook materials, please contact your local sales representative. If you have any questions about the material presented in this video, please email highschoolpd@bfwpub.com. Thank you.